What's happening, champions? How to be confident in yourself? That's the big question today, and we're going to find the answer. Confidence comes from the Latin word confidere, which means to have full trust. Why is it that we so deeply admire people that have self-confidence? Why is it that they rise to the top of our society? Meanwhile, people that don't believe in themselves, that could really use a boost, seem to struggle. It's almost like the rich get richer. You know, the people that already have confidence, they just keep getting validation from society telling them that they're amazing. Meanwhile, somebody who lacks it always gets told that they're weird or awkward and doesn't really fit in. So what's the difference between arrogance and confidence? Where do we draw the line? Self-confidence is a deep inner belief that you know what you're doing is right, that you're doing the right thing, that you have the ability to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Arrogance is more of a bloated ego. That's where you really start telling everybody about how great you are and how bad they are in comparison. So essentially, self-confidence sounds like, I know I'm right, I know I can do it, I know that I'm capable. Whereas arrogance sounds like, I'm right, you're wrong. But one thing that you have to realize is that self-confidence is situational. One person could have all the confidence in the world when they're doing something and then lose it all in the next moment. For example, you might have a guy that's super nervous and shy around women, but the moment that he's around these buddies playing video games and just chilling out or watching football or playing football or whatever it is that he's good at, that he feels comfortable with, all of a sudden the real confident person in him comes out and shines. The same goes for you. Think about a time where you were completely confident in yourself, where you truly and fully believed in your abilities to make whatever you needed to happen. Whether it was to make someone laugh or whether it was just to perform really well at any sport or activity, it doesn't matter. You have something that you're confident in. And that's where the real you expresses itself to the world and actually shows what you're made of. You could be this person all the time, but there's a few principles that we need to apply in order to make that happen. Let's take the example of if you wanted to become confident around other people. Most of the powerful and simple principles to apply would be in your body language, because most of our communication, whether you know it or not, is subconscious. It's not just in the words that we say. Rather, it's in how we say them, the pacing, the tonality, and the way we use our bodies and eyes to communicate. Facial muscles going up and down, the way that you move around, the amount of space that you take up, all of this plays a part. So if you wanted to increase your confidence around people, you would look them straight in the eye, you would slow down the pacing, the tonality would deepen a little bit, you wouldn't be looking from side to side, being nervous, looking down. You know what the body language of somebody that's confident looks like. Start taking that on and you'll start feeling like it. That's absolutely true. You would probably straighten out your body, you would relax as well. And you would be very certain in your voice. Everything that you said had a certain amount of weight to it, and you wouldn't be afraid to pause. But the same applies in anything that you want to get confident at. Most of it is at a subconscious level. So whatever it is you do it with the intention of improving, getting better, and getting confident at it. Meaning that if, for example, you were trying to become a professional football player, your practice sessions would have a certain amount of intensity and a certain weight to them, a certain feeling, a certain intention behind it all that would eventually lead to you getting the confidence and building up the skill level, which go together hand in hand. Just like when it comes to money, everybody wants the get-rich-quick scheme. Everybody wants to make a quick buck. And in confidence, everybody wants to instantly feel secure about themselves. They want to feel like they can take on the world and they can conquer anything, but it's just not going to happen. You are going to have to work on it. But the few shortcuts that you can use will definitely help you along the way. So it doesn't have to be a drag the whole time as you're going from step to step to step and progressing through different levels. Now I want you to think about an area in your life where you truly do not feel confident, but where you want to build confidence, where you really want to start to believe in yourself and your abilities. Think about what that area is for you. What do you want to improve in? What do you want to get better at? Everybody has something. Now, what would it take for you to increase the level of belief and confidence that you have in yourself in that area? It's not even remotely difficult to put together a simple plan that you follow step by step that will lead you to feeling incredible about yourself, your abilities, your talents, and what you have to offer. If you, for example, were starting a business, you don't have to begin by saying, I need to make $100,000 my first month. If you don't have the confidence yet, you don't have to try to go for 1,500 sales in the first week. Apply the principle of input versus result-oriented thinking. Focus on what is it that you can do this week, this month, to really start to build some momentum in that area. In the business example, it could be as simple as making 20 phone calls, either for prospecting or for networking. It's all about taking it one step at a time and not overwhelming yourself and saying to yourself, I have to accomplish all of this in order to start to feel confident. If you were trying to build people skills and you wanted to get rid of anxiety and you wanted to learn how to really communicate well, then it could simply start off with saying hi to one new person each and every single day. In fact, when I conquered my social anxiety, that's exactly where I started. So don't put yourself in this horrible spot and say to yourself that you have to do all of these ridiculously high-level things when you haven't yet built up the basic foundation of confidence. So I've personally gone from almost no self-confidence to actually fully believing in myself, my abilities, and developing some real skills. And the essence of it is to keep it in mind at all times. I mean, how are you gonna really improve and get good at something if you don't care enough about it? If you don't give it time, if you don't give it your attention, it won't grow. You can't really get better if you're constantly looking for a quick fix or a quick solution. So I suggest that if you really want to develop some core self-confidence, some real self-belief that you can take into any situation, not just one situation or not just one environment or some people that you're around, but everywhere that you go, you have to make it a lifelong habit and journey to keep improving this skill. Because it really is a skill in and of itself. Think about it this way. Confidence is no different than the muscles in your arms or the ability that you have to run for long periods of time, your cardio. When you work constantly and consistently and diligently at improving your self-confidence, at feeling good about yourself, at really reassuring yourself that you are capable, and you start thinking in those patterns, not just every once in a while, briefly touching on them, your life transforms. You transform. As a person, you are much more capable once you truly and fully believe that you are capable. Now, this will spill over to everything that you do. There's nothing that gets away from it. The moment that you've developed some real core belief, core confidence, nobody can take that away from you. And sure, there will be situations where you still get scared and nervous. But what I really encourage you to do is go towards them, not away from them. So what's the biggest secret of confident people? They do what scares them. They don't just stay in the environments where they feel safe and where they feel like they got everything under control. They deliberately put themselves in situations where things are difficult and chaotic and it's really hard to get a grip, because that's where they most grow. You will jump leaps and bounds in progress the moment that you actually put yourself into situations where you feel uncomfortable and where you don't feel confident. And putting yourself in those situations over and over again has almost like this spring effect. You push it down, and then when it bounces back up, it gets crazy. Look at some of the most successful people on the planet and the struggles that they've gone through and the confidence that they've then developed through that adversity, through those challenges, through the obstacles that they had to face. So now I ask you, what are your biggest fears? Write a list. Maybe it's 5 things, maybe it's 10, maybe it's 20. Doesn't matter, as long as you start putting it down and now start crossing them out one by one by actually putting yourself in those situations. There's no better way to develop a real core belief in yourself. A real and true self-confidence that is everlasting will come from putting yourself in those situations over and over and over again and crossing out that list until it's done. Now, if you want to start off a little bit slow and take it slightly easy, then I suggest that what you do is you look at what the worst case scenario could be for each and every one of these. Now, don't let that put you off completely and stop you from doing it, but it might give you an idea of where to start. The ones that have the less likely to be a close to death outcome are the ones that you should probably begin with. Here you will develop so much momentum that you'll become unstoppable, undeniable, unshakable in your self-confidence because you truly and deeply can believe in yourself because you're capable of literally taking on anything, especially those things that you most fear. And those are the things that most people avoid the entirety of their life. In fact, they deliberately go out of their way to try to stay away from some of these activities and make sure that they never end up in one of them. What happens when you seek them out? What happens when you deliberately go towards them? You join the top 3% of the world's population and you will have that level of self-confidence. I'm not talking about some little feel-good trick here. I'm talking about a real transformation, a real change. So who do you need to call right now? Who do you need to talk to? What building do you need to jump off with a parachute, of course? Or what is it that you need to face? What creature do you have to deliberately seek out and put on your body so that you just get over it and get it done with? Just take one step forward. That's all that you need to do. And one by one, the progress will add up. Thanks for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed it. You guys are the champions, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.